Good morning, Team Alabama. We are going to continue reading in the Hunger Games. Please join me on page 286. Page 286, second paragraph. Yes, I don't think that you'll have much use for your lips anymore. Want to blow Loverboy one last kiss, she asks. I work up a mouthful of blood and saliva and spit it in her face. She flushes with rage. All right then, let's go get started. I brace myself for the agony that's sure to follow, but as I feel the tip open the first cut at my lip, some great force yanks Clove from my body, and then she's screaming. I'm too stunned at first and too unable to process what has happened. Has PETA somehow come to my rescue? Have the game makers sent in some wild animal to add to the fun? Has a hovercraft inexplicably plucked her into the air? But when I push myself up on my numb arms, I see it none of the above. Clove is dangling a foot off the ground, imprisoned in Thresh's arms. I let out a gasp, seeing him like that, towering over me, holding Clove like a rag doll. I remember him as big, but he seems more massive and more powerful than I even recall. If anything, he seems to have gained weight in the arena. He flips Clove around and flings her onto the ground. When he shouts, I jump, never having heard him speak above a mutter. What did you do to that little girl? You kill her? Clove is climbing backward on all fours like a frantic insect, too shocked to even call for Cato. No, it wasn't me. You said her name, I heard you. You killed her. Another thought brings a fresh wave of rage to his features. You cut her up like you were going to cut up this girl here? No, Clove sees the stone about the size of a small loaf of bread in Thresh's hand and loses it. Cato, she screeches. Cato! Clove, I hear Cato's answer, but he's too far away. I can tell that much to do her any good. What was he doing? Trying to get Foxface or PETA? Or had he been lying in wait for Thresh and just badly misjudged his location? Thresh brings the rock down hard against Clove's temple. It's not bleeding, but I can see the dent in her skull, and I know that she's a goner. There's still life in her now, though, and in rapid rise and fall of her chest, the low moan escaping her lips. When Thresh whirls around on me, the rock raised, I know it's no good to run, and my bow is empty, the last loaded arrow having gone in Clove's direction. I'm trapped in the glare of his strange golden brown eyes. What'd she mean about Rue being your ally? We teamed up. Blew up the supplies. I tried to save her. I did, but he got there first. District 1, I say. Maybe if he knows I helped Rue, he won't choose some slow, sadistic end for me. And you killed him, he demands. Yes, I killed him. And buried her in flowers, I say, and sang her to sleep. Tears spring to my eyes. The tension, the fight goes out of me at the memory, and I'm overwhelmed by Rue, and the pain in my head, and my fear of Thresh, and the moaning of the dying girl a few feet away. To sleep? Thresh says gruffly, to death. I sang her until she died. I say, your district, they sent me bread. My hand reaches up, but not for an arrow that I know I'll never reach, just to wipe my nose. Do it fast, okay, Thresh? Conflicting emotions cross Thresh's face. He lowers the rock and points it at me, almost accusingly. Just this one time I let you go, for the little girl. You and me were even then. No more owed. You understand? I nod, because I do understand. About owing and about hating it. And I understand that if Thresh wins, he'll have to go back and face a district that has already broken all the rules to thank me. And he is breaking the rules to thank me too. And I understood that for the moment. Thresh is not going to smash in my skull. Clove! Cato's voice is much nearer now. I can tell by the pain in it that he sees her on the ground. You better run off, fire girl, says Thresh. I don't need to be told twice. I flip over and my feet dig in the hard-packed earth as I run away from Thresh and Clove and the sound of Cato's voice. Only when I reach the woods do I turn back for an instant. Thresh and big, large backpacks are vanishing over the edge of the plain into the area I've never seen. Cato kneels beside Clove, spear in hand, begging her to stay with him. In a moment, he will realize it's futile. She can't be saved. I crash into the trees, repeatedly swiping away the blood that's pouring into my eyes, fleeing like the wild, wounded creature I am. After a few minutes, I hear the cannon, and I know that Clove has died and that Cato will be on one of our trails, either Thresh or mine. I'm seized with terror, weak with my head wound, shaking. I load an arrow, but Cato can throw that spear almost as far as I can shoot. Only one thing calms me down. Thresh has Cato's backpack containing the thing he needs desperately. If I had to bet, Cato headed out after Thresh, not me. Still, I don't slow down when I reach the water. I plunge right in, boots still on, and flounder downstream. I pull off Rue's socks that I've been using for gloves and press them into my forehead, trying to staunch the flow of blood, but they're soaked in minutes. Somehow, I make it back to the cave. I squeeze through the rocks in the dappled light. I pull the little orange backpack from my arm and cut open the clasp and dump the contents on the ground. One slim box containing one hypodermic needle. Without hesitating, I jam the needle into Peta's arm and slowly press down on the plunger. My hand goes to my head and then drop to my lap and slick with blood. The last thing I remember is an exquisitely beautiful green and silver moth landing on the curve of my wrist. Okay, that's the end of chapter 21. Please go ahead and add to your facts on your Google Doc, your questions, and your vocab. Have a great day, Team Alabama, and we will read a little more tomorrow.